Number 10. Red Queen. This is an alternate version of Psylocke from Earth 811, the alternate universe belonging to Days of Future Past. In this reality, Psylocke became one of the baddies, and boy, does bad look good on her. Psylocke ended up joining the Hellfire Club and becoming their Red Queen. She has dark painted nails, a sick cape, and some really awesome thigh-high boots that look like they might be built into her costume. I am a sucker for really nice thigh-high boots. She wears a metal bikini over a seemingly sheer red bodysuit. She also appears to wear war paint or have gotten an epic red face tattoo, one or the other. Wolverine ends up defeating this version of Psylocke and handing her over to her brother, Brian Braddock, aka Captain Britain, in hopes that he can help to redeem her. Number 9. Flashpoint Zatanna. This version of Zatanna Zatara comes to us from the Flashpoint universe. In this reality, Zatanna looks like a hardcore biker chick. She has an arm sleeve tattoo and sports some very low-rise leather pants, and wears a leather vest over what appears to be a leather bikini top. Her hair is shorter, her nails are painted dark, and she wears a black choker. She also drives a motorcycle. Sadly, as badass as she looks in this reality, she still ends up defeated and dead after a fight with Enchantress. Number 8. Black Cat Clone. Most video games featuring Black Cat do not disappoint when it comes to highlighting just how seductive Black Cat is, and the clone version of Felicia from the game Spider-Man Edge of Time is no exception. This version of Felicia is a clone created by Alchemax using the combined DNA of a few different people and creatures, including Felicia herself, cats, Tigra, and the Vanisher. This made Felicia even more powerful, which really only added to her allure as a character. This clone's version had improved fighting skills and could also teleport. And as always, she also has tons of great sexy lines in the game. Peter even admits that this version of Black Cat is better than the original, in his personal opinion. Number 7. Flashpoint Starfire. Not everyone may love the idea of Starfire being a villain, but you can't deny that being bad looks good on Starfire. In the Flashpoint timeline, Kory joined Wonder Woman's army as one of her female Furies. This version of Starfire features a similar look to her main timeline counterpart. She is one of those weird 90s looking face and hair pieces that I love so much. I don't know why I love them, because I feel like in reality they would really look terrible on people. She is also covered in a costume that defies logic, featuring just swirls of purple flame to cover her. And she is also wearing some seriously amazing thigh-high boots. In this reality, her and Dick Grayson end up against one another, and a trap that he lays results in her death. Number 6. Old Lady Frost. In the Old Man Logan universe, Emma Frost makes an appearance looking like she hasn't aged a day. This is of course due to her telepathic abilities, which allow her to appear youthful and stunning in others' minds, even in her old age. The idea of eternal youth and beauty while also continuously getting wiser and smarter is not only super Emma Frost, but also just, I think, appealing to most people. And you might be wondering, what happens though when Emma is faced with a mind that she possibly can't manipulate with her powers? In the Old Man Logan universe, that will actually likely never happen, due to the fact that Emma Frost in this reality is known as being the most powerful telepath remaining on Earth. Number 5. MANGAVERSE Black Cat. So I know that Black Cat isn't exactly a superhero all the time, and is more like DC's Catwoman, in the sense that she walks a fine line most days between being good and being bad. But if we are talking hottest female alternates, then she needs to get mentioned, because she has some of the hottest female alternates. Black Cat also does tend to walk the road of being a hero more often than a villain as well, I would argue. Her MANGAVERSE version is by far one of the hottest, just based on her costume alone. This version of Felicia from MANGAVERSE's Earth 2301 also seems to genuinely care more about Mary Jane than her 616 counterpart. She expressed concern for MJ's well-being, despite also competing with her for Peter's affection. Still, this reality almost implies more of a love triangle between the three of them than a straight competition for who gets Spider-Man.
Number 10. Big Barda. From a young age, Big Barda was trained to become a warrior. Not just any warrior either. Barda became the leader of the Female Furies, Darkseid's personal guard. Although she was originally working for the Darkseid in the comics, get it? Darkseid. She later turned things around and ended up joining the Justice League International, as well as Oracle/Batwoman's Birds of Prey. In fact, she was probably the strongest physically on the Birds of Prey team. Belonging to the New Gods race also gives her a slew of abilities, including invulnerability, super sight, super stamina, immortality, super strength, and energy manipulation, among others. Number 9. X-23. If you thought Wolverine was strong, wait till you meet his daughter / clone. More animalistic than Wolverine, X-23 was created in a lab. She is tough as nails and a survivalist above all else. Beyond the comics, we also got to see a badass live-action version of X-23 on the silver screen in Logan. Especially when playing against the much older version of Wolverine, she looks even more insanely strong. Her healing factor is speedier and she never flinches at a fight, even when faced with dangerous odds. Number 8. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Introduced to the MCU, Carol Danvers was set up to be the strongest Avenger yet, and while this is debatable, one cannot deny the strength of Captain Marvel, formerly known in the comics as Miss Marvel. Carol has flight capabilities, super strength, can fire photonic blasts, and comes with a no-nonsense attitude. I would even argue she is presented as having a more militaristic mindset than Cap at times. In the past few years, the comics have uplifted her character, promoting her from Miss to Captain, and allowing her to earn that title, easily defeating one of her arch nemesis Jan-Rog after being reintroduced, a man who she has struggled to defeat in the past and has tortured her for most of her life. Oh yeah, and she manages to do it with a tumor rapidly growing inside her brain. Wow.
I've been fighting with one arm tied behind my back. But what happens when I'm finally set free?
Number 7. She-Hulk. Not only is She-Hulk, cousin of Bruce Banner, strong, but she is brave and intelligent. Jennifer Walters was not the most confident person until she got caught in the crossfire of some bullets that were meant for Bruce and had to receive an emergency blood transfusion from him. His blood coursing through her veins, Jennifer underwent a transformation and became the bold and confident She-Hulk. Although she only received a portion of the strength that the Hulk has, she has a uniqueness to her that none of the other Hulks have. Her strength never leaves her, it carries over. It's consistent. Not only this, but Jennifer has an emotional influence over the Hulk, often being called in to calm down the Hulk when he is too riled up to calm himself down. Number 6. Zatanna. If the powers of magic are limitless, then so must be this superhero's strength level. Zatanna may not be the most buff of the ladies on this list, but she is definitely one of the strongest when it comes to ability. Not only is she a skilled stage magician, but also a skilled real-world magician, coming from a long, strong bloodline of magics. Her powers are on another level. She can travel through dimensions, is a skilled hypnotist, can transmute atoms, teleport, and has telepathic abilities. She's one of Batman's oldest friends and often helps out the Justice League. In fact, she was even once referred to as the strongest member of the Justice League. You could argue that she is just as strong, if not stronger, than Marvel's Doctor Strange. Many fans would like to imagine that Zatanna herself would make an even better Sorcerer Supreme. Number 5. Emma Frost. Speaking on telepathic abilities, Emma Frost is one strong telepath that also comes to mind. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a strong telepath, and I think it is one of the strongest superpowers around. Emma Frost has even used her abilities to cure mutants of their lack of control over their powers, famously helping Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, to control his optic blasts. And telepathic powers aside, she is also one of the actual strongest superheroes in the sense that she can turn herself into Diamond, known for being a super tough substance and able to withstand tons of pressure. So she is not only mentally strong, but physically strong as well.
Shoot on sight!
Number 4. Jean Grey. Of course, when Jean Grey is alive and well, wait, how many times has she died now? And how many times has she been resurrected? Anyways, when Jean is alive and well, she's an even stronger telepath than Emma Frost. And when teamed up with the Phoenix Force, she's even stronger and more deadly. Although she is not physically strong, Jean is also super skilled at telekinesis. And who needs super strength when you can lift almost anything with your mind? Jean could use that trick to make herself look insanely strong. Many have compared her to Charles Xavier, and many have argued that Jean is stronger, though she does sometimes struggle to access and control her full potential, which is perhaps where Professor X surpasses her. If you follow the X-Men films, they would even have us believe that Jean can defeat Apocalypse, simply by shouting. Number 3. Wonder Woman. Strong, smart, and funny? The Wonder Woman film starring Gal Gadot has shown us just how powerful Wonder Woman is, not just as a superhero, but as an icon. When people think of female strength, Diana Prince is one of the first characters that comes to mind, whether or not you are a comic book geek. Why? Well, for good reason. Wonder Woman not only has an iconic look, but beyond that, she was one of the first female superheroes ever to be introduced in the comic book world. She grew out of her jobs, first as a nurse, then as a secretary, and eventually became a founding member of the Justice League, and their first female member. She is known for her wit, strength, lasso of truth, demigoddess status, and Amazonian heritage. And let's not forget that with Wonder Woman, we also potentially get an army of insanely strong Amazonian warriors.
Zeus! Zeus!
Number 2. Supergirl. Being related to one of the strongest superheroes grants you some pretty impressive strength. To prove that point, we have Supergirl soaring in on this list. Kara Zor-El is Superman's cousin who survived the destruction of Krypton, who shares an arch nemesis with her cousin, Lex Luthor. While on Earth, the relationship she builds with Superman becomes that of sort of a younger sister, and she goes by the name Linda. Although her story has been changed and rewritten a few times in DC's new 52 reboot. Regardless, the Supergirl we knew for years had abilities that echoed that of her cousin, making her one of the strongest female superheroes to grace the pages of any comic book. We're talking super speed, super strength, flight, invulnerability, and the famous heat vision. And while Superman and Batman have always been known for their famous friendship and bond, we will also now get to see this translate to Supergirl as well with the DCCW universe's introduction of Batwoman.
Number 7. Dark Supergirl. This version of Supergirl was created when Lex Luthor exposed Supergirl to black kryptonite. She was a duplicate of the original, but inverted morally, being more evil and dark than her original counterpart. She also appears to have a much shorter skirt. I guess shorter skirts are more evil than longer skirts? At least according to comic book artists and black kryptonite race. This version of Supergirl was able to handily take out most of the Justice League members, including the Flash. In the end, she was taken down by Wonder Woman and her lasso of truth. Wonder Woman had managed to bind Supergirl and Dark Supergirl together in an effort to find out who was who, as Dark Supergirl had managed to force Supergirl into swapping outfits with her. She did a really fast quick change. Being bound together by the magical lasso caused the two beings to merge once more and become one entity. However, Dark Supergirl's persona would continue to live on inside Kara Zor-El for some time, representing her darker half, which I also kind of love. I kind of love that she just has like a dark half, so there's like good Supergirl, slightly evil Supergirl, and they both kind of live within her. Number 6. JENA and MADALYNE PYRE. These two were obviously alternates who took inspiration from Jean Grey and MADALYNE PYRE on Earth 616, but were more or less their own characters. Madeline, or Madeline, and JENA both resided in Limbo, and Madeline was preparing her sister to inherit the powers of the Phoenix Sword, a blade that grants its user powers similar to that of the Phoenix Force from Earth 616. Madeline herself stole the blade from the Shadow King. These two are a couple of the raciest alternates I've ever come across. They are wearing metal bikinis, if you can call it that look like they got stuck onto them somehow. I don't know how they're staying on. I don't know. Magic. Art. Number 5. Mistress Mary. Even her name is hotter than the original. This version of Mary Marvel comes to us from JLA Classified. She is tough as nails, kicks Guy Gardner's butt, and has an amazingly badass costume to boot. This version of Mary keeps her hair back in an all-business ponytail, wears long dark gloves, a bodysuit complete with a lightning bolt window. In some panels it appears to be a sort of see-through plasticky yellow, and in others it's just a cutout shape in her costume. Her bodysuit attaches to fishnets or stockings, with one strap just sort of flapping free. And my favorite part, she wears a big pair of combat boots, all the better to kick butt with. Number 4. DCEU MERA. Probably one of the hottest versions of MERA in the entire DC universe, comes to us from the DCEU films. I personally don't think the Aquaman film would have been as successful without MERA in it. Amber Heard was the actress who played MERA in the film, and she did an amazing job looking and acting the part. Very well cast. Add in all the stunning costumes and outfits that we see MERA in, and it's easy to understand why her DCEU version is considered one of the hottest alternates around. Seriously, the sight of Amber Heard's Mera in that stunning jellyfish dress is enough to make anyone swoon. Pretty sure everyone watching that was just like, I'm weak in the knees. Do whatever she wants, please. She's just so pretty. And let's also not forget just how badass Mera was in the film. And how smart she was. She's the whole package, really, of hotness. Mera, of course, doesn't always play the role of the hero, but she has fought alongside Aquaman enough times that I think we can count her as one for the purpose of this list. Number 3, Rachel Roth. This version of Raven comes to us from the world of the DC bombshells. I love this world. It's just so stylized. If I were ever to do a Raven cosplay, I think this is the one I'd most want to do. Also, if I were to ever visit like an alternate world, I think I'd want to visit the DC bombshells. This version of Raven became the mind-controlled pet of Joker's daughter. She ended up being saved, however, by Zatanna and Mary Marvel. Her costume in this universe consists of devil's horns, a corseted bodysuit, long matching gloves, fishnet stockings, and an off-the-shoulder cape with its standard jewel fastening. Overall, it's just an amazing look for Raven. I really, really like it. Number 2, She-Thor. This version of Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk comes to us from the famous pages of Sensational She-Hulk issue number 50, where Jennifer is looking for a new writer for her comic after her writer died. In truth, the famous comic book writer John Byrne was not dead, but was leaving the series. And Jennifer herself in the comic had him tied up in her office's closet. She was just tired of him writing for her and she sought a new comic book writer. One of the pitches her character receives in the comic is the idea of a story where she herself is an alternate version of Thor. Goddess of lightning and wielder of Mjolnir, she is the sensational She-Hulk. This version of She-Hulk sports a cape, a winged headpiece, and a metal bikini. Gotta say, I'm a fan of this mashup. Jennifer would make a great Norse goddess. However, she didn't go for this one. She-Hulk wasn't too impressed with it. It's hard to impress She-Hulk. Number 1, Manga Marvel Girl. Okay, so the Mangaverse definitely has one of the most random and hottest versions of Jean Grey ever. Mostly because of the drawing style though, I think. Honestly, the Mangaverse just gets all the hottest versions of female superheroes usually, and some of the male superheroes too. This version of Jean usually keeps her hair pulled back in a green scrunchie. She wears a green and gold super crop bikini style top, and arm warmers, and super shiny green pants. Alternatively, she can also be seen in a more classic but still anime version of her original costume. Short, green skirt, big, thigh-high yellow boots, and an off-the-shoulder shirt with a yellow-collared harness over top. Number 4, Nubia. Nubia is the alternate Wonder Woman from Earth 23, the same Earth as Calvin Ellis's Superman. There are a few different versions that are super hot when it comes to Wonder Woman, who herself is just a stunner, and Nubia is definitely one of them. Not only is she as noble and good as her main continuity counterpart, working with her Earth's Justice League, but her costume is also killer. I personally especially love how strong she looks and love her sporting her metallic armored costume, complete with a silver metal chest piece slash belt with built-in abs. Nothing says sexy like silver metal abs. Number 3, Red Cat. The Red Cat is sort of a hybrid of Black Widow and Felicia Hardy, or really more Nat and Black Cat's clothing and role, which gives us the Red Cat. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally think Natasha and Felicia are a couple of the hottest ladies in the Marvel Universe, so this one definitely had to make my cut. This reality-warped version comes to us from the short 4-part series Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality, and pits Peter Parker in the symbiote suit, Red Cat, and no longer Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, against the new villainous Sorcerer Supreme, Hobgoblin. Number 2, Revenant Storm. There are so many hot alternate versions of Storm out there. Even her anti-self, her Mummidry or Revenant version is sexy. This version of Storm was brought out in Uncanny X-Force Volume 2 after the Revenants, under leadership of their queen, Cassandra Nova, used a serum to revive the Mummidry of the X-Force team members within them. Psylocke, Puck, and Storm within them. This version of Storm keeps her long white mane of hair but also sports horns on her headpiece. Her costume is similar to her original costume, but with lots of dangly fang accessories. She also has a body chain attached to part of her chest piece. I am such a sucker for darker takes on classic characters and body chains. Body chains are cool. Number 1, Power Girl. So, I'm not about to talk about Earth 2 Power Girl here because that seems a little weird and wrong. Although many people think of Power Girl as an alternate version of Supergirl, she really is her own character. Now, of course, the continuity in DC can be very confusing because of all of the resets we've seen and had. But basically, just know that Earth 2, where Power Girl is from, is kind of like the home for the classic versions of superheroes, as established in 1961's Flash Volume 1, Issue 123, like Jay Garrick's Flash, Alan Scott's Green Lantern, old school Batman and Superman. So to call Power Girl an alternate doesn't really do her justice, which is why I'm going to talk here about one of her own hottest alternates from the series, Justice League The Nail. Power Girl is one of the hottest characters in the comic book world, so of course I could not leave her out of this list. This alternate version has a similar look to Power Girl when it comes to her costume and aesthetic, but with just a few little alterations making her costume a touch more racy. Now, I have always loved Power Girl's look because I feel like she is just so unashamed of her body, of what others think of the way that she dresses. That confidence that she exudes makes her one of the most sexy and attractive supers out there. Nothing looks sexier on a person than confidence. Number 10, Starwoman. This version of Stargirl is known as Starwoman and comes to us from Earth 33. Courtney Whitmore in this alternate universe is a magic user wielding a staff that allows her to channel the power of the stars. She was the apprentice of Starman and fought to avenge his death. This version of Courtney looks like a mashup of Black Cat and Stargirl somewhat. She has white hair, a black mask, and wears a black and red long sleeve crop top with stars on it, red gloves, and black shorts. Crop tops for the win! I'm a big fan of the crop top. Can't wait for summer so everyone can wear crop tops. Number 9, the most dangerous woman in all of Europe. Is there a time period that exists that does not look good on Natasha? In the 1602 universe, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is known as the most dangerous woman in all of Europe and is a freelance spy, not loyal to any particular country. She ends up aligned with Dr. Doom's alternate, Count Otto von Doom, in the 1602 alternate universe of Earth 311, which also ends up resulting in her death when she questions orders given to her and Doom's plan. Number 8, Vampy. If you are a fan of Vampirella and also a fan of futuristic, potentially cyberpunk looks, then I have a hot alternate for you. Anarchy Studios published a comic series in the early 2000s introducing an alternate version of Vampirella from the future. The series was named after Vampirella's nickname, Vampy. This Vampy sought to cure her vampirism and ran around in a zipped up red leotard, thigh highs with a holster / garter attached to keep them up, and red boots or futuristic kind of looking sneakers on her feet. She also had a gold chain style choker and arm bracelets and red gauntlets. This was a pretty epic look for Vampy, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. I also love the sometimes futuristic sneakers that she wore. I need a pair of those. She still sported her signature golden bat symbol as well in this version, which I think is the symbol of Draculon? Pretty sure.
Number 1, Scarlet Witch. Of course, I couldn't make a most powerful list without putting Scarlet Witch at the top of it. You just can't deny the sheer awesome power that is Scarlet Witch. I mean, when you can alter reality, anything is possible. Scarlet Witch, who has since been retconned, was once known in the comics as Magneto's daughter, making her almost mutant royalty. But regardless of her ever-changing backstory, she stands alone without any needed context as one of the strongest superheroes of all time, regardless of gender. Being skilled in the arcane arts, her ability to manipulate chaos magic makes her almost unstoppable when she wants to be. In fact, her abilities to warp reality are considered to be so strong that it's hard for us to even know if any of her other powers actually exist, or if she is simply warping reality to make them appear to exist. With Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch, almost everything that happens in the comics could be questionable as to whether or not they happen because she wills it, or they just actually are events that are happening. This is, after all, the woman who willed the Phoenix Force out of existence.
Coming in at number 10, Jessica Jones. Since her debut in Marvel's Alias #1, Jessica Jones has had a storied history and is one of Marvel's darker heroes. She obtained her powers in a car crash when her vehicle collided with a military convoy carrying radioactive chemicals. The experience killed her family but left her with superhuman strength and durability. She has gone by different names throughout her story arc, once known as Jewel and another time known as Nitress. She is a skilled hand-to-hand fighter and a talented private investigator. Her powers include accelerated healing, flight, and even telepathic resistance due to her experiences with the Purple Man and some help from Jean Grey. Jessica is a fighter and is more powerful than she looks. Number 9. Black Widow. We meet Black Widow first in Tales of Suspense number 52 in 1964, where she meets Iron Man and inadvertently helps him defeat some Soviet agents. Formerly a KGB agent, she was trained by the Red Room, part of the Black Widow Ops program, in an effort to create the ultimate super spy. She eventually defects to America and later joins the Avengers. With a history over 50 years long, Black Widow's powers vary from story to story, but some of her most impressive powers include peak human strength, speed, and endurance. She is a master martial artist, weapons expert, disguise expert, talented hacker. Honestly, I could go on and on, but you get the idea. She's a super spy. Number 8. She-Hulk. Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, is introduced in Savage She-Hulk number 1 in 1980. As the cousin of Bruce Banner, Jennifer is shot by a mobster and then given a transfusion of Bruce Banner's blood to save her. She is later attacked a second time, and the danger activates the gamma radiation particles in her blood, causing her to transform into the Hulk. Meek and mousy in her human form, Jennifer enjoyed the newfound confidence of her Hulk form and quickly gained the same intelligence as her normal self even when transformed. She was in the first Secret Wars, temporary member of the Fantastic Four, and even joined the Avengers. Her powers include the usual gamma radiation package, strength, stamina, healing factor, and she is trained with Captain America and Gamora, and she has a law degree.
Number 7. Selene. Selene is known for being a powerful energy vampire and is something we don't really talk often enough about on this channel. She was originally known in the comics for being the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club and is an ancient immortal. So how does she stay looking so young? By feeding on the psychic energy of others. But Selene isn't just a vampire, she is also known for her telepathic and telekinetic skills. She has also been shown to demonstrate other powers over the years, like pyrokinesis, and has dabbled in magic as well. Not only that, but the energy she consumes can also be used to reinforce her physical strength and speed.
Number 6. Wonder Woman. First appearing in All-Star Comics number 8 in 1941, Wonder Woman is easily one of the most recognizable female heroes and has been around since the beginning. Also known as Princess Diana, she was born on Paradise Island, the first child ever born there. She has some classic superhero equipment, including indestructible bracelets, the lasso of truth, the royal tiara, and an invisible airplane. She is a founding member of the Justice League and has an impressive selection of powers, including superhuman strength, speed, durability, and flight. Number 5. MERA. MERA first appeared in Aquaman number 11 in 1963, and she's not just the lady version of Aquaman. MERA hails from Dimension Aqua, where DC writers are sent as punishment for coming up with lame dimension names. A criminal named Liron seizes control of the kingdom, and she is banished, exiled off to the Earth dimension, where she meets Aquaman. Liron follows MERA, but working together with Aquaman, she manages to defeat him, and MERA opts to stay with Aquaman in Atlantis. She is an amphibian, possessing gills that allow underwater breathing. She has the power of hydrokinesis, allowing her to increase density of water and create water missiles from hard water. She has exceptional strength and durability, as well as telepathic communication with other aquatic peoples, but not with lesser marine life like Aquaman. No hitching a ride on a whale for MERA. Number 4. Captain Marvel. First appearing in Marvel Superheroes number 13 in 1968, Carol Danvers joined the Air Force when she turned 18, quickly rising to the top of her class. After 10 years of killing it in the Air Force, she was appointed to Chief of Security for NASA. Her father was a Navy man, and her mother was a captain of the Kree Army named Marie L. Growing up, Carol was unaware that she was a human-Kree hybrid. One day, she's kidnapped and taken out to an abandoned Kree outpost, where she's knocked into a damaged Kree machine called the Psyche Magnetron during a scuffle, and the machine leaves her genetic structure forever altered. She becomes a split personality hero, experiencing blackouts during which she becomes Miss Marvel, with powers of super strength, flight, and a seventh sense, giving her premonitions. The two personalities eventually are consolidated and she becomes her true self, an incredibly powerful member of Marvel's unique roster of heroes. Her powers include superhuman stamina, reflexes, energy absorption, and even self-sustenance. She also has a healing factor that would put Wolverine to shame. She basically doesn't age and is seemingly immortal. Number 3. Starfire. Starfire comes from the planet Tamaran in the Vega system, where golden-skinned humanoids make up a passionate society driven more by emotion than by reason. Starfire, aka Princess Coriander, had an older sister that was the first in the line of succession, but this sister had a childhood illness that affected her abilities. She became known as Blackfire, and she fled her home after being denied her birthright, aligning herself with a fascist empire known as the Citadel. The Citadel returns and enslaves the homeworld, and eventually Starfire is forced to flee and finds her way to Earth, where she later joins the Teen Titans. Starfire can channel and project energy in the form of star bolts, and when using her abilities in full force, her eyes glow and her fiery hair appears to glow and flicker. She is super powerful, with a unique physiology allowing her to survive even in the cold vacuum of space. She can fly, absorb energy, self-sustain, and assimilate languages through touch. Number 2. Scarlet Witch. First appearing in X-Men number 4 in 1964, Wanda Maximoff was kidnapped as a child and experimented on. She once accidentally set a village on fire with her powers and was attacked by the angry villagers, one of whom called her a Scarlet Witch, and the name stuck. She was rescued from this situation by Magneto and recruited into his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Destined to become a hero, she disagreed with Magneto's plan to kill the X-Men and eventually became an Avenger alongside Captain America and Hawkeye. She has the uncanny ability to generate hex bolts or hex spheres, manipulating energy fields to cause anything from momentum changes, molecular destabilization, force fields, or just deflecting attacks. Her hexes are especially useful in causing negative effects in the form of bad luck. Other powers include flight, teleportation, and powerful energy blasts. It's been said that Wanda is the nexus being of the Marvel Prime Universe, and it's that type of larger-than-life history that puts her near the top of this list. Okay, Nerd Squad, before we reveal our pick for number 1, take a second to smash that like button. But seriously, just click on it once. Number 1. Rogue. Also known as Anna Marie Laveau, Rogue was first seen in Avengers Annual number 10 in 1981. She was born in a hippie commune in Mississippi. Her mother died when she was young, and this led to her becoming rebellious, running away from home and earning the nickname Rogue. In her youth, she develops a relationship with a boy named Cody, but after her first kiss, her mutant powers kick in, absorbing Cody's life force from the skin-to-skin contact and leaving him in a coma. She's unable to control this power at first, and resolves to always wear body-concealing clothing to prevent skin contact. She is later recruited into the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants by Mystique, and in an intense battle against the X-Men, she absorbs the abilities and memories of Miss Marvel. Eventually, she begins to suffer from having Carol Danvers' memories inside her head, and she turns to Professor X for help. Over time, she earns the trust of the other members of the X-Men and becomes a valued member of the team. Rogue has the ability to absorb superpowers and memories of pretty much any being she comes into contact with. The transfer is usually temporary, lasting an amount of time relative to the duration of the skin contact, but in some cases, her power absorption is permanent, perhaps due to absorbing Miss Marvel's unique half-Kree DNA. In any case, it's this ability to absorb the powers and abilities of other beings that lands her at the number 1 spot on our list. Number 10. Vampirella. Created in 1969, Vampirella is a sinister seductress and has always been a fan favorite and a very popular cosplay. Originally from the planet Draculon, she travels to Earth to hunt down the dark remnants of her own race. Earth's vampires originate from Dracula, who left his homeworld centuries ago and became corrupted by a demonic entity. Her origin has since been retconned and become more complicated, but that's the gist of it. A vampire-inspired superheroine taking down evil demons. She has some awesome powers, including super hearing, perfect night vision, and super senses, allowing her to discern someone's emotional state through their scent. She has a powerful healing factor and is immortal. She's hypnotic and seductive, a skilled hand-to-hand fighter, and knows her way around firearms too. Number 9. Black Canary. First appearing in Flash Comics number 86 in 1947, Black Canary is a classic vigilante superhero who fights crime alongside Green Arrow, who she is usually romantically involved with. She has been a member of Birds of Prey and the Justice League, also known as Dina Drake or Dina Lance, depending on how confusing you find the DC universe. Initially, she was portrayed as a hand-to-hand fighter without superpowers who poses as a criminal to infiltrate gangs, but now she's a master martial artist, proficient in a million fighting styles, reserving her signature move, the Canary Cry, for only the most powerful enemies. It's a super-powered sonic scream that shatters glass and can even kill. The origin of the Canary Cry power has been retconned many times, but originally it was a magical power received as a curse from a wizard. later is explained to be a metahuman ability. As of the New 52, her ability is the result of human experimentation by the leaders of Team 7. She is an expert motorcyclist, gymnast, and tactician. And fun fact about Black Canary, in 2016, DC Comics released a 3-track album called EP1 to promote her new story, in which she becomes the lead singer of a band that shares her name. You know, like the Archies. Hey gang, before I hit number 8, I need you guys to hit that like button. Thanks so much guys, it really helps us out. Number 8, HAWKGIRL. Female counterpart to the hero Hawkman, Shira Sanders first appeared in Flash Comics #1 in 1940. She has been a member of the All-Star Squadron and an associate of the Justice Society of America. Centuries ago, she was Che-Ara, princess of ancient Egypt. Her and her lover, Prince Khufu, were killed by Hathset with a knife made of an alien material, metal. Now, Khufu and Che-Ara are doomed to find one another and fall in love in every reincarnation, only for Hathset to find them and murder them again. Her powers most notably include animal empathy, she can speak to birds, and improved strength, vision, and healing, as well as a vulnerability to deja vu. She sometimes experiences visions or memories from her past lives, which is especially troublesome when it happens in the middle of combat. Number 7, Storm. Also known as Aurora Monroe, we first meet Storm in Giant X-Men #1 in 1975. She is a descendant of an ancient line of African priestesses who all share the same white hair, blue eyes, and magical abilities. As a child, she survived a plane crash that destroyed her home and left her with severe claustrophobia after being trapped underneath some rubble. She served with the X-Men for years, eventually becoming their leader after Cyclops' departure. In Black Panther Volume 4, Storm marries the Black Panther and becomes the Queen of Wakanda, but none of the ladies on this list are defined by their relationship to a man. Storm is classified as an Omega level mutant, wielding mystical power drawn from her ancestors. She has the psionic ability to manipulate weather, from adjusting atmospheric pressure to creating a cooling mist on a hot day. She also boasts telepathic resistance, energy vision, teleportation, and limitless magical potential thanks to her bloodline. She is also multilingual and an expert gardener. Number 6. VIXEN. Also known as Mary McCabe, VIXEN first appeared in Action Comics in 1981. She grew up in a small village in Africa and as a child heard from her parents the legend of the Tantu Totem, a token that grants the wearer all the powers of the animal kingdom, if the powers are being used to protect the innocent. She eventually moves to America and begins a successful career as a fashion model, using her wealth to travel around the world. She eventually returns to Africa, stealing the totem back from her evil uncle, Mustafa Maksai. The Tantu Totem enables her to tap into the morphogenetic field of the earth, sometimes known as the Red. It is the force connecting all animal life and microorganisms in the universe, and tapping into it allows her to access incredible animal powers. She can mimic the abilities of any animal she can think of. VIXEN is also a skilled athlete, boxer, and hand-to-hand fighter. One drawback of her powers: if she stays in animal form too long, she begins to become less human and more animal-like, seemingly losing control and risking giving in completely to animal behaviors. The full extent of her power over the Red is unknown, but once she cooperated with Animal Man and Tristes, and together they created an entire universe. It's rumored that VIXEN will be appearing in DC's Truth and Justice in 2021.
Number 5, Emma Frost. On the flip side of the coin from Selene, who we talked about earlier, we have Emma Frost, the White Queen. Emma is also known for being a very powerful telepath, and while she might not be as versatile as Selene, she doesn't need to feed on psychic energy like Selene does. Emma Frost is often referred to as the White Queen from her time as being a part of the Hellfire Club as well. She was the White Queen. See what I'm saying? Emma started out originally as a villain in the comics but didn't stay one for long, eventually reforming and even joining the X-Men team. She's an adept teacher and leader in addition to her powers. She's not only an immensely skilled telepath, but also possesses her diamond form, which makes her almost indestructible in battle. Almost.
Number 4. Raven. First appearing in DC Comics Presents number 26 in 1980, Raven was part of Teen Titans from the beginning. She was born a half-breed, the daughter of a human mother and a demon overlord father. Fearing for her future, Raven's mother takes her to Azarath, a peaceful reality where she's taught how to control her emotions in order to maintain control of her inherited demonic powers. When she learns that Trigon is coming to her dimension, she vows to stop him and approaches the Justice League, but they refuse her after the magical ZATANNA senses her demonic parentage. Throughout her story, she has been possessed, become a spirit, and once had to find a new body. Raven has the ability to send out her soul self for spying and stuff, but it can also fight and use telekinesis. She can teleport, fly, and use psychokinesis to manipulate matter at the atomic level. She is also tele-empathetic, meaning she can feel the emotions of those around her and absorb others' pain to heal them, or heal herself through meditation. She can generate and manipulate darkness as well, usually in the form of a raven. It's been noted by her demon father Trigon that she only uses a small potential of her power, and if she released her inner demon, she could potentially reach near infinite power.
Number 3. Storm. Storm is referred to as a goddess for a good reason. She is a mighty hero who wields influential power over the elements. While this doesn't seem to be a power that Thor often reaches for in the comics, despite also possessing that, Storm does not shy away from using her mutant gifts against her enemy. When fighting Storm, you'll want to watch out, as it is easy for her to call down a bolt of lightning to strike you at any point. As a child, she also possessed a fear of small spaces, known as claustrophobia. In the past, when this fear has been evoked, like when Doom encased her in a form-fitting metal shell, Storm has also been shown to tap into the full potential of her powers, creating storms massive enough to envelop the whole planet.
Number 2. Miss Martian. Also known as Megan Morse, she first appeared in Teen Titans Volume 3 in 2006. In the DC universe, there are two versions of Martians: green-skinned peaceful philosophers and white-skinned vicious warriors. The story is, Megan's parents sent her on a rocket to the Vega system, home of the Citadel, to escape from the Martian Civil War. But secretly, she is actually a white Martian, captured by the US government. The exact details of her origin are debatable, but she did have a brief stint with the Teen Titans, not staying for very long. Similar to the Kryptonians, Martians have a different physiology and unique abilities. Miss Martian has a whole host of powers at her disposal, including telepathy, mind control, and telekinesis. She has a variety of visions, including X-ray, infrared, and microscopic. She has the usual super strength, super speed, can phase through walls, and even turn invisible. She has a regenerative healing factor and could potentially regenerate an entire body from one severed limb. And now, number 1, ZATANNA. First appearing in Hawkman number 4 in 1964, ZATANNA is an incredibly powerful member of the mystical Homo Magi, a subspecies of magic-wielding humans. The daughter of a famous magician, she grew up in a small house in New York, near the infamous Arkham Asylum. She became a successful illusionist before discovering her true powers while searching for her missing father. She meets quite a few heroes on this journey and returns to her career on the stage, occasionally assisting people in need with her powers. ZATANNA has such a ridiculously comprehensive list of powers, there's no way I could list them all, but check this out. First of all, she can manipulate and create magical elements, anything from fire to water to light. She also has telekinesis, teleportation, reality alteration, and every warlock's favorite, Eldritch Blast. She has the power of flight, force fields, healing, hypnosis. I could honestly go on forever. Fun facts about ZATANNA: she speaks the words in reverse when she's casting a spell, and she's a vegetarian. Also, one of her ancestors is none other than Leonardo da Vinci.
Number 10, Dust. To me, Dust is almost the physical embodiment of the Thanos snap, you know? Anyway, Sora Kadir, aka Dust, is a mutant whose abilities allow her to transform her body into, well, dust. She was born in Afghanistan and was sold into slavery. She displayed her powers when a slave trader tried to remove her kneecap, and she flayed him alive. Yes, she flayed him alive. Once the X-Men got knowledge of Soraya and her abilities, they went looking for her and brought her back to the academy. Since Dust is a sand morph, she is able to reform her body into a humanoid or some sort of sand form. In this form, she's most resistant to injury and she's difficult to detect telepathically. In this sandstorm form, she's able to hurt her enemies by scouring the flesh from their bones, as well as being able to enter their lungs, hurting their opponents from the inside.
Number 9. Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde's powers are some of the most useful ones around. She can phase through almost anything and as such can travel into some of the most secure locations in the world without any trouble. Not only that, but she can use her phasing abilities in a fight to become completely untouchable, phasing through her opponents or even making her opponents phase momentarily, only to become solid once again with something now lodged inside them. Kitty also received a power upgrade from an artifact known as the Black Vortex, which granted her more control over her powers while also increasing their strength to an extent.
Number 8, Magik. Illyana Rasputin, aka MAGIK, is the younger sister of Colossus, and she's got a pretty long list of abilities. She's able to teleport, she can levitate, she has the power of necromancy, she can absorb souls, she's a master swordsman, she possesses a soul sword, and she can astral project. She's got a large skill set, as you can tell. Illyana was trapped in Limbo after being kidnapped by Belasco. During her time in Limbo, this dimension's version of Storm taught Illyana how to use spells and magic, and the cat is the one who taught her how to be a master swordsman that she is today. She also learned dark magic from Chthon, and he's like one of the most powerful demons in the Marvel Universe, so you know she got a good education from him. In a way. At one point, Illyana was even able to extract a piece of her soul to create the soul sword, and she used this to take over Limbo. She then returned to Earth and later learned that she was able to cover her body in eldritch armor when she summons the soul sword. So not only is she a powerful sorcerer, but she also has magical armor to boot.
Number 7. Invisible Woman. Also known as Susan Storm Richards, the Invisible Girl had her big debut in Fantastic Four #1 in 1961. She has had a storied history, as the origins of the Fantastic Four have been revisited a few times. The team was given their powers when the 4 of them were mutated by cosmic rays testing an experimental starship. She later discovers new powers, including the ability to turn objects invisible and manipulate force fields. She eventually marries Dr. Reed, and they end up having a baby. She goes on superhero maternity leave, and Crystal of the Inhumans steps in, but this list has nothing to do with superhero children. She has the ability to manipulate color, create psionic force fields, and even travel through the air, projecting psionic force beneath her to create columns of energy traveling in a zigzag flight path. Sue's force fields are incredibly powerful and can even prevent telekinesis from passing through them. Fun facts about Sue: she's an expert sailor, carries a universal translator, and wears a micro-galaxy ring containing 74 inhabited worlds.
Number 6. Hope Summers. Basically, Hope Summers is mutant Jesus. Hope was the first mutant born after the decimation, the event where Scarlet Witch wiped out all but 198 mutants. When Hope was born, there was a hunt for her. Some believed that she was the mutant messiah, and others believed that she was some sort of antichrist. It was discovered that Hope had the ability to enhance, activate, and mimic the powers of others, and these powers came in handy when she was trusted with the task of going to look for other mutants that they called lights. When finding these other mutants, Hope was able to calm them, stabilize their powers, and even awaken their abilities. On top of all this, it was also revealed that Hope was the new Phoenix, but this force was so unstable and unpredictable, Hope and Scarlet Witch joined forces, said no more Phoenix, and the Phoenix Force just dispersed around the world, giving birth to new mutants and restoring the mutant population. So not only is Hope able to influence the X genes of the lights, she was also strong enough to become the new host of the Phoenix Force, and then have the power to disperse it around the globe. She's OP. That's just my take on it. She's OP.
Number 5. Jean Grey. Also known as Marvel Girl, Jean Grey is one of Marvel's most complex heroes and first appeared in X-Men #1 in 1963. She witnessed the death of a young friend at age 10 and experienced her dying friend's thoughts and emotions, the tragedy activating her latent telepathic abilities. Professor X takes her under his wing and places psychic barriers in Jean's mind to protect her while she develops her powers. Jean goes on to bond with the ancient Phoenix Force and has an epic and expansive history with some of the X-Men's most compelling storylines ever. Jean goes from telekinesis rookie to superpowered pro throughout her story arc, with powers including memory alteration, mind control, mind possession, telepathic defense, psychic healing, astral projection, force fields, and more.
Number 4. Rogue. Rogue is the adopted daughter of Mystique, so you already know that if Mystique likes her, there's gotta be something special about her. We covered this in our last collab together, but Mystique isn't really the best mom, so for her to willingly take on the responsibility of being a mom, it's gotta be for a good reason. She's given away too many kids already. Rogue is another super powerful mutant. She has the ability to absorb the life forces, abilities, personality, and other physical characteristics of others through touch. She also had superhuman strength during the period of time that she had absorbed Carol Danvers' powers and personality within her. Now just think about how OP that is. Not only does Rogue have the ability to take the powers of others, but in certain scenarios she's also able to tap into the stolen abilities and use them against her opponent. This happened a lot while she had Carol Danvers still inside her, because not only was she able to tap into her abilities, but Carol was also able to take over Rogue's body in a way when Rogue was unconscious or under a lot of stress. So that's pretty powerful if you ask me. Also, a little side fact for you. Mystique would have actually been Rogue's biological mom if the character's creator Chris Claremont hadn't left Marvel in 1991. So there you go.
Number 3. Supergirl. Supergirl first appeared in Action Comics number 252 in 1959 and is known on Krypton as Kara Zor-El. She was sent to Earth by her father to save her life, like Superman. In the beginning, her arrival is confusing for Superman, who can't believe his eyes when he first sees a woman flying. She is, however, one of the most powerful heroes in the world and has been a member of the Justice League and the Red Lantern Corps. Supergirl is host to some epic larger-than-life storylines and has always been a fan favorite. Her powers include enhanced vision, including infrared, microscopic, and X-ray vision, invulnerability, and all the usual superhuman stuff, and some extras including flight, sound manipulation, force fields, and genius level intellect. It's been said that she sometimes seems more powerful than the Man of Steel himself.
Number 2. Rachel Summers. One of the most powerful and often underrated mutants of all is Rachel Summers. Rachel is the daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey from an alternate timeline. She was born with a small part of the Phoenix within her. Instead of her mother perishing after the X-Men's clash with the Shi'ar, Jean lived and married Scott. Together they had Rachel, and because this version of Jean was still bonded with the Phoenix Force at the time, a part of the cosmic entity lives on in Rachel. Aside from her connection to the Phoenix Force, which grants her awesome powers, enhancing both her telekinetic and telepathic powers as well, Rachel also possesses the ability of time manipulation. Her time manipulation powers are complex and can be useful in a variety of ways, such as when we see her use them in 2020's X-Factor in issue 1 to chrono-skip through the time of an object belonging to Northstar's sister Aurora in order to track her down and investigate her death.
Number 1. Jean Grey. Jean Grey is probably one of the most, or even the most powerful mutants, simply because of her ability to control the Phoenix Force. Going from being X-Men's weakest member to being its strongest, Marvel Girl died, and like a phoenix was reborn as well, Phoenix. In the Uncanny X-Men issues 101 to 108, also known as the Phoenix Saga, we watched as Jean became the powerful mutant Phoenix, and then in Uncanny X-Men 129 to 138, we saw her evolve into Dark Phoenix. The Phoenix Force is the sum of all life in the universe, and it takes hosts through time, so this thing is already pretty damn powerful. But things get cranked up a few notches when Phoenix is corrupted by evil, taking on the new Dark Phoenix persona. In this state, she consumes a star and 5 billion people on a nearby planet. Now if that doesn't scream all-powerful being, then I don't know, man. Ultimately, Jean's personality buried way down there manages to take control, and the Phoenix ends up dying by. Again, even when she's not technically the all-powerful Phoenix, Jean's personality was strong enough to sort of take down the Phoenix from the inside. Also, after her death, she was in the white-hot room. Death told Jean that because her spirit was most closely carved from the Phoenix, that she was destined to take on the Phoenix Force. Obviously, it takes a very strong person to be considered a perfect fit for the Phoenix.